Welcome back to K&L Farms. I'm Ken, and so I went on Amazon. I'll leave it in the description. I bought a diesel heater, and I was going to go over the explanation behind the purchase or the thought process for the purchase. Now we live in a colder climate. We've had several feet of snow, which I'll bring up that topic again here shortly. But over the last 2 weeks, we've had 3 days with power outages. The 3 days we had with power outages, probably the total amount that we had power outages was maybe 10 hours. So in that time, the big shop went without power. Now the building I'm in currently, the little garage I'm in with my workshop area, and the 2 houses are off the generator, so we didn't have a threat of power outages in those because the generator will kick on, and then we can keep heat, and we don't have to be concerned about that. We have a pretty big tank, and we can run a considerable length of time without the power or the grid power. Now the reason that this little barn or little garage that I'm in with the workshop is it's got the well house in it, or the pump house in it, and I ran generator power to it, and it can keep the well house warmed up, the tank and the pressure switches and stuff for the well house warmed up off the generator. But the problem was that we actually lost power in the big shop, and it has water. Now it's on the grid, the big shop, but it has water in it, and it's not on the generator leg. So I started freezing up. The pipes froze up, so I went and I bought one of these diesel heaters. And here comes Martin again. And I'm gonna probably have to put Martin outside to get the rest of this video done. So yeah. Okay, so Martin's the barn cat, and I was feeding Martin. I thought he'd leave me alone long enough that I could get through the video. And let me see if I can recall where I was. Okay, so we froze up in the big shop. Now remember, on my video, and I'll link one up at the top, you can go back and watch if you've never seen it. I'm building an off-grid cabin. Now the off-grid cabin primary heat source will be a wood stove. But if you've ever had a house with a wood stove and you don't tend to the fire, at least 2 times a day, the heat will drop. And I'm thinking that this diesel heater here that I have, that I could actually use that. The role for that would be that I would use that in that off-grid cabin to keep it warm. But in the meantime, this is a self-contained diesel heater, and I'm going to do an unboxing today. I'm just going to unbox it. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for it, and then I'm going to unbox it and show you what's in and some of the concerns I have with this diesel heater for inside of a structure. I'm thinking I'm going to go outside, but we'll go over that a little bit further. Go back to the big shop. I froze up. Don't have any heat source in it because the power's out, of course. There's no wood. There is a wood stove in it, but I didn't tend to it. I could have probably been better off by went and built a little wood stove fire in it for that time. But if it's the middle of the night when the power goes out, which one time it did for, we think, 2, maybe 3 hours at night. In our case with the generator just kicks on. We don't lose any heat or anything in the houses, but in the shop we did, and it froze up, and then once it thawed out, then got water sprayed all over. But I'm thinking that if I use this, now that I own this, I didn't at that time, and I use this, then I could have just set it up, got a battery, which we usually do. Have 5 gallons of diesel, run this little diesel heater. I could have saved myself a lot of stress or a lot of repairs on broken pipes. So that gives you an idea, and I was just trying to go over in my head the justification in spending it. But I went on Amazon, bought it. It was $109, and I think it's worth the experiment. And then I'll just get the box over here and show you what's inside this box. And then on a later video, probably 1 if not 2, I'll go over heat sources and this when I actually install it in the off-grid cabin. probably later on this year. Now, right now I can't really do any construction because the 4 feet of snow and the pad where the generator go, or I'm sorry, where the off-grid cabin is, it still has 4 feet of snow over it. So let me get in and open this box up and show you. Okay, just opening the box. I just got, prior to, I just opened, I had the lid open up a little bit, but I paid I said that already, but $109 was the price. And comes with a little booklet, and I can't say yet. I can't even review the product because, of course, it's brand new in the box. I have never used one. I've never owned one of these, but I thought it was a good for $109. I thought it was a good experiment. But some packing, a little bit. Oh, it's got a vent cover in here. That looks like a vent cover. Directional vent cover. See if I can get that out of the box. It's not extremely heavy by any means, and then I'll show you kind of why I picked this one out after I get it out of here. You've seen it come out of the box. A couple features that I like. One feature I liked, first is, it's fairly self-contained. The other thing is it had an external sight glass. I could actually see how much diesel I had left in it by just going through and looking at it. Had a remote, on-off remote, external key fob type situation, and they showed it that the thermostat actually came out. And you could view it instead of bending over. You could view the thermostat, which that looks correct. Get back in the box, and one thing that I knew was going to be a problem. I'll flip it over. Here's the exhaust pipe, which I mentioned earlier on this video. Is I was concerned about internal. This is the concern. Somehow you have to vent. If this is the internal, you got to vent out your exhaust, and this tube gets extremely hot. So I don't know that I'm not going to mount this externally of a building and then vent into, because then I don't have to worry about the fire danger, because I don't want a $109 product burning down a building. If you've done any building lately, you know that they're fairly expensive. But this is the concern right here. But anyway, you can't just mount this on the bottom because you got intake air and exhaust air coming out the bottom. So somehow, if you did, you'd have to drill a hole. You got to drill a hole big enough that combustibles don't come in contact with this pipe. That's the problem, or the concern right now. But anyway, let's roll this back up, see what else is in there. Now this one did not come with a muffler. Just comes with a piece of straight pipe and just a piece of straight flexible pipe, and you can't really make that bend. You got to figure out something else to do, which we'll do on a later video. Okay, so set that there. Get this piece out. This piece right here is actually for the heat. This is intake. Nope, that's a heat shroud. That's a piece of heat shroud for that pipe. Piece of insulation heat shroud for this pipe. Go over this pipe. This is a discharge. Remember, you got intake air and exhaust air. This is discharge for the unit. Goes on there, and then just a piece of insulated dryer hose, basically a short piece. You'll probably have to. I will probably have to buy a longer piece than that. That also came in the box, and I'll have to open this up here. Should have brought a pocket knife with me, but I don't have one. Oh, and I was going to tell you, I got to pick up that vent piece. I'm going to tell you that, I'll spin it so you can actually see it. It's DC 12 volt power. These are little keepers, and what I was going to do is I was going to buy an inverter, and then run a cord into a 110 plug-in, invert from 110 to 12 volt. But remember that part of the rule for this is for off-grid type situations, and in that case I would just use a battery. Now I thought, I have some solar. I think I have 400 watts of solar on this building, and I've got some deep cell batteries, which you always think, okay, I thought, you know, use the solar, keep the batteries charged up. If I need this, I'll go get a battery out of there and go and hook it up and be good to go. The problem is, as soon as you get in the winter, like we're in now, and normally that's when the power goes out, is you got 3 feet of snow on your solar panels, and the solar panels quit working. It gets cold inside this building I'm in. In fact, it's cold right now. And you lose your charge on your solar batteries, so that's not a viable option. So, and yes, I'm building in a considerable amount of redundancy on what I actually own. Oh, I may have been wrong. I led you wrong. See, it's a good thing I was on video. So the redundancy is if things go bad, and I've heard people say it. I don't know. I can't quote who said it, but everything's good until the grid goes down, and then what you have on your property is what you live on. Because once the grid goes down, and I've seen it in my lifetime several times, the grid goes down, and then you go to Home Depot and to buy a generator, and they're sold out, and they can't get any freight in like this last time. I have a little convenience store. It's got a little deli in it. We had a little rough weather. I've got a video on Arctic storm. They ran out with, nobody could get up the hill, nobody could get to us, and they ran out with virtually everything in a week, and that was a storm. We still had grid power. That's not a social unrest or anything. That was just a storm. So let's go back to what's in here. Got some C-clamps. This is actually an air filter. It's not a muffler, it's an air filter. That's for supply air, intake air into the unit. Got some hose clamps. Got a couple pieces of bolts in there. I don't know if they're stainless or not, but they definitely look metric. Got a little set of wires to run from here. I'll probably fix that up a little bit better, but the other thing I think I seen somewhere say that this will move about 10 amps. It'll pull quite a bit of power because it's got a fan in it. And got a little wire loop here for that. These are mounting legs. Got those 4 mounting legs, so you can slide that onto that and then run a bolt to, I don't know if you want to run a lag bolt or a carriage bolt or what you want to run, but we'll figure that out later. And more than likely, if I do this external, I'll try and figure out a box, a metal box of some sort, like a metal toolbox or some sort, so it's not directly in the weather, because in short order, put it in a metal toolbox, put it on the exterior portion of your building, it's got 4 feet of snow on it or something, and you won't be able to, you'll have to figure out the lid situation for it too. But externally, I showed you previously, it comes with a key fob so you can start and stop it once you set the controls. Also, it's got a muffler in it, which I didn't realize. It came with a muffler, I didn't think it did. Got a little muffler in it, got a little bracket, looks like it, and a couple of self-tapping screws in it. So, if you like this content and you want to see more of it, please hit the like and subscribe. And I just wanted to show you what I got for this diesel heater. And thank you and have a good day.